Next on 10 News at 11, a family's horse killed by loose dogs. The search underway now for the dangerous animals. And breaking new developments as sharp nurses put down their picket signs for now. 10 News starts in 90 seconds.
Ten News begins with the 10 News breaking weather alert.
Right now, mostly clear skies over San Diego, but don't put away the raincoats just yet. Good evening, I'm Rielle Creighton. 10 News is staying in our breaking weather alert coverage because your evening commute tomorrow could look a lot like this, what we have been seeing all weekend long. 10 News Pinpoint weathercaster Melissa Messia tracking the chances for yet another round of rain.
Yeah, it's drying out right now, but again, it's not over. I want to bring you to 10 News Pinpoint Doppler Live, where you can see things are quiet, some scattered light stuff coming down in the East County, but really that's about it. But like Rielle mentioned, you're going to need those raincoats. Don't put away those umbrellas because this is what we can expect tomorrow. I activated our future cast here. So the Monday morning commute, it will be cloudy, not really any widespread rain there, but our chance of rain continues there as we head into our evening commute. So this is the lunch hour, but check out what we could see here around 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. So widespread scattered showers possible as we get started for our next work week. When I return, I'll continue to track that rain and also let you know when we're going to start to see some sunshine.
If tomorrow's rain is anything like this weekend, it's sure to make a mess on the roads. Highway Patrol says there have been nearly 450 crashes over the past 2 days on San Diego County freeways. That is well over 100 more than normal. The conditions made even worse by the heavy traffic as people return home from their holidays.
Well, we were doing about 35 miles an hour last night on the freeway. And there was points where my wife was telling me pull over and stop because it got really bad. And even with your wiper blades at high, it was really hard to see the freeway.
As for people who flew to and from their destination, things have been pretty normal, with most of the nation's airports experiencing delays of 15 minutes or less. Tune in to 10 News tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 a.m. Pinpoint meteorologist Megan Perry will have your up-to-the-minute forecast so you can prepare for the work and school day. Now to a breaking news update. A 3-day strike of nurses at Sharp Healthcare hospitals has now been called off. 10 News reporter Bree Stafford is in Sarah Mesa with the details of that temporary truce.
Nurses were planning to be out in front of Sharp hospitals like this one, picketing early Monday morning, but now they say they'll be saving signs like this one for another day.
It was overwhelming.
Samantha cringes at the thought of going on strike, turning her patients over to someone else to care for.
It would just be hard. I mean, it's something I've never done before.
She and dozens of other nurses spent hours making hundreds of signs.
This was only an hour.
Getting ready for a 3-day strike at Sharp hospitals, picketing what they call unfair labor practice, claiming Sharp Healthcare doesn't pay enough, creating high turnover when employees leave for better pay at other hospitals, putting strain on patient care and the nurses who choose to stay.
We want safe patient care, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to get that.
Turns out they won't need the signs for Monday. Last-minute compromises between the nurses union and Sharp Healthcare gave both sides hope they'll be able to reach an agreement soon and get a new contract approved. Until then, Samantha says they'll keep the signs close by.
We're motivated to keep this going and to get the best we can.
The nurses union says they're going back to the bargaining table Tuesday. Reporting in Sarah Mesa, Bree Steffen, 10 News.
New at 11, a Southern California mother who survived a shark attack is now fighting to save the species. Maria Cosmarcos was training at Corona del Mar State Beach in May when she was attacked. The shark chewed into her side, ribs, and liver. Now, 6 months later, Cosmarcos is handing out posters and asking people to sign a petition protecting sharks. Sharks are targeted for their fins, used to make shark fin soup, and considered a delicacy by some.
I'm 10 News reporter Jessica Chen in University City, where this elderly woman is still shaken after a close call with a thief last night. Her son Darren says they've done everything to secure 80-year-old Nicole Shaker's home. Surveillance cameras, no trespassing signs, and streetlights. But on Saturday, this man cased her home, knocked on her door, and ran off with a package. Darren, who just happened to be nearby, snapped these pictures of the man before he sped off. He says he's worried.
There was this guy with a ski mask wrapped around his skull and a trench coat.
Darren contacted police, but it's unclear if the suspect was caught. Jessica Chen, 10 News.
Tomorrow is Cyber Monday, meaning millions of packages going out for delivery could fall victim to package theft. Social networking site Nextdoor found that 42% of neighbors across the country have reported one or multiple stolen packages. 61% of neighbors report that they are afraid to have their packages delivered. UPS is expecting to deliver more than 600 million packages between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day. Now to a developing story. The search continues for 2 escaped prisoners. They broke out of a county jail in San Jose just before Thanksgiving. Rogelio Chavez and Lerone Campbell, part of a group of 4 inmates who orchestrated a getaway late Wednesday night, cutting through the window of their cell, rappelling down 2 stories by tying together a series of blankets and bed sheets.
You can see where the bars are missing, and you can see also they cut one of the horizontal supports and then pushed the window out, and the window is still hanging there.
The 2 other prisoners involved in the escape quickly captured by deputies. Chavez and Campbell have evaded the massive search effort for 3 days now. A $20,000 reward is being offered for their capture. Tomorrow, Wisconsin election officials will discuss a timeline for a possible recount of the presidential election votes. The effort was started last week by Green Party candidate Jill Stein. Then this weekend, Hillary Clinton's team announced it will support the recount in 3 states, including Pennsylvania and Michigan. President-elect Donald Trump responding on Twitter today, saying he won the popular vote and although she won the popular vote, accused millions of Americans of people of voting illegally. He later tweeted that there was serious voter fraud in Virginia, New Hampshire, and here in California. Trump's team is accusing Jill Stein of using the recount as a fundraiser.
This is ridiculous. This is a fundraising, notoriety-driven fraud by a person who won 33,000 votes in Wisconsin.
I don't know why they're so nervous. They're just so jittery about no recount, no recount. Whatever you do, don't do a recount. Just calm down. If you think you won, the recount will show the same thing.
So far, there is no evidence that voter results were hacked. New details in the North Dakota pipeline protest. The U.S. Army Corps says it has no plans to forcibly remove protesters from the land. On Friday, federal officials decided it will close the Standing Rock campsite where thousands of people, including celebrities, are protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline. The protesters have had violent clashes with law enforcement. The Corps says it is seeking a peaceful transition to a safer location. Now to new developments. Encinitas Mayor Kristen Gaspar widening her lead over Supervisor Dave Roberts. The updated vote count shows that Gaspar now has a 1,247 vote count lead over Roberts, just over 50%. She had trailed him by 2,200 votes after election night, but has been gaining ground ever since. About 60,000 votes still need to be tallied. And new tonight, 6 people are dead, 5 others on life support because of a medical condition caused by the weather. Right now, a wild thunderstorm is ripping through Melbourne, Australia. Officials say the storm caused rain-sodden ryegrass pollen to explode and disperse over the city. Now, hundreds of people are suffering from a condition called thunderstorm asthma. Around a third of the patients who suffered asthma attacks before reported never having had asthma.
Within about half an hour, just out of control. I couldn't breathe, and it was getting worse, so it was insane.
Thunderstorm asthma last struck Australia back in 2010. New tonight, a local family devastated by their horse killed by loose dogs.
If they could take down a horse and kill a horse, they could certainly do that to the person.
The search underway now for the animals. We're in a 10 News breaking weather alert. More rain headed our way, but the storm also bringing much anticipated snow to Southern California. And a World War II veteran's medals found tossed in a dumpster. Another veteran vowing to find the rightful owners.
And in 15 minutes on Valley View Casino and Hotel Sports Extra, Phillip Rivers wasn't blaming himself after this one. The Chargers returned from the bye in a big way against the Houston Texans.
If they could take down a horse and kill a horse, they could certainly do that to the person, a child, and another animal.
New tonight, a San Marcos family angry and grieving tonight over the death of their beloved horse, Smokey. The horse was brutally attacked last night by two dogs they believe to be pit bulls. Michelle Barclay says the horse belonged to her father, who desperately tried fighting off those dogs with a shovel, but it was too late. Smokey was badly injured, covered in blood, and they were forced to put him down. She says her father owned the horse for over 20 years.
He was just devastated to see him go like that. It was, the horse suffered, and it was just really traumatic for all of us.
Barclay says they have had trouble with the same dogs before. Animal Control is now searching for the animals responsible for the attack. Happening now, Cubans facing the first week of their post-Castro history. For most, Fidel Castro was the only leader they have ever known. His communist regime had held the island nation in an iron grip for almost 60 years. ABC's Elizabeth Herr reports Castro's death brings uncertainty about what's next.
In Cuba, it is the end of an era and the beginning of an official 9 days of mourning for Fidel Castro, with flags flying at half-staff. And churches in Havana offering mass and services for a man these worshipers call a revolutionary leader and a champion. Castro, who took power in 1959 promising democracy, soon jailed and executed opponents, sending more than 1 million Cubans into exile.
Viva
So in Miami, there are chants and cheers among Cuban exiles and their families. Miami-Dade Commissioner Rebecca Sosa was just 8 when she fled Cuba without her parents, who were at the time held as political prisoners.
That was very hard, and I was very small.
But now it's a time to reflect for Sosa with this gift from her father.
Open only when Fidel dies.
Other Cuban Americans say they are hopeful change will come, albeit slowly.
Raul Castro has things in place. The repression continues, the lack of freedom continues. So no, it won't be an overnight thing at all.
And earlier, President-elect Donald Trump also warned he might undo America's renewed ties with Cuba. But in his latest statement, he now says he'll do everything he can to ensure Cuba's prosperity and liberty. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
The storm bringing rain to San Diego, but also opening up skiing season in Southern California. Snow Summit at Big Bear is now open for the season. The mountain got between 3 to 5 inches from the storm, and they've been able to make a lot of snow thanks to the cold temperatures. Skiers and snowboarders hope this is a sign of things to come.
Last year, El Nino was kind of a dud for us, where Mammoth and Tahoe got hit. We didn't get it. So hopefully this year it's going to come down, and this is a sign that it's going to.
Big Bear Mountain Resorts, which operates 2 properties, says they have already gotten more than 10,000 visitors over the holiday weekend. Closer to home, a little less snow falling overnight in the East County. This is what it looked like at Laguna Mountain Lodge this morning with about an inch of snow on the ground. And that storm is not stopping a San Diego man from biking hundreds of miles up the California coast. DJ Valoria is riding from Oceanside to Newport Beach today. He started in Chula Vista yesterday morning and plans to ride all the way to the Golden Gate Bridge, about 600 miles in all. Valoria battles type 1 diabetes and obesity. During his trip, he'll be collecting inspiring stories from people that he meets along the way and a documentary called 2 Wheels and a Dream. New tonight, a Purple Heart and several other war medals discovered in a dumpster.
You know, this is just disgusting.
Gary Kennedy is an Army veteran living in Midland, Texas. The VFW there found out about the discarded medals tossed out in a small box. Now, Kennedy is trying to track down the owner's family. The medals belong to Jim C. Carter, a World War II Army veteran.
We want to be able to give this back to the families so that way they can have it and still cherish these stories that grandfather, great-grandfather.
It's unclear who discarded the medals and why. Kennedy has reached out to several organizations that might be able to track down the rightful owners.
Weather Aid certified San Diego's most accurate forecast. This is a 10 News breaking weather alert.
We remain in a breaking weather alert tonight. 10 News Pinpoint weathercaster Melissa Messiha, but we're mostly talking about some stuff to hit us tomorrow.
Yeah, because right now it's mostly quiet, but it's not going to always stay that way because a lot of people heading back to work and we could see some showers here tomorrow. I do want to bring you to our 10 News Pinpoint Doppler Live where you can see it has quieted down quite a bit than what we saw earlier this afternoon. Some light stuff falling in the East County, but that's about it. Now, we are going to be dealing with those cooler conditions overnight. Those showers are tapering off, but that is not going to last. Many of you are heading back to work tomorrow, so I activated our 10 News Futurecast here to show you what we can expect as far as rain is concerned. So for the morning commute, it appears our roads are going to be dry. Now for our lunch hour, we'll continue to stay dry, but check out what we could see as people hit the road for the afternoon commute. People picking up their kids, heading home from work. So our best chance of rain here is after 4 o'clock. It's going to continue to move out as the night continues, but definitely something to keep in mind, especially when you go to hit the roads for your back to work Monday. Now we did get some pretty good rain here over the last 48 hours. You can see Julian over 2 inches of rain, Encinitas 0.89, La Jolla over ½ an inch, and San Ysidro about ¼ of an inch there. Now our high wind warning, wind advisory, that is over. We do have a small craft advisory in effect. That's until tomorrow morning, until 4 o'clock in the morning. Our overnight lows here, Escondido 44, Warner Springs at Chile 29, Carlsbad and Oceanside 47, San Diego 52, La Jolla 53. Now, if you do have friends or relatives traveling, this is what we can expect across the country here. Oklahoma City 64, San Francisco 55, New York City 36 degrees. All right, what to expect for the rest of our weekend here? Like I've been talking about, the chance for showers mostly in the evening hours. Not to expected to be over 1/10 of an inch, so pretty light stuff. Cool, cloudy conditions, also gusty winds mainly in the mountains. 7-day forecast here for our coast. We do have a small chance of showers Thursday evening, but 10 News pinpoint weathercaster Robert Santos will be in tomorrow morning. He'll keep a close eye on that for you. Inland, our 7-day forecast here, you can see the overnight lows in the 40s. We will see some sunshine there midweek, and this is what the mountains and the deserts look like as we continue on our week. So the holiday is over, but man, was it a busy one. We had the rain, we had the snow, and the winds.
Yeah, well, I looked ahead next weekend. Looks good though, right?
For now, yeah.
For now.
Yeah, definitely not what we're
scary
seeing, what we saw this past weekend, so that's a good thing.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Well, walking down the aisle at the grocery store, the story behind this fairy tale wedding in between the rice and the kitchen gadgets. There she is, walking down the aisle, the grocery store aisle. Mary and Larry Tinson started dating after a chance encounter at this store in Albany, Georgia 4 years ago. When they decided it was time to get married, well, they figured what better place than where it all started. The supermarket helped them plan the wedding for several months. Well, Disney is back on the top of the box office this holiday weekend with a new Hawaiian princess. Moana, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, brought in $55 million in its debut. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them dropped to second place, earning $45 million. Doctor Strange and Allied raked in $13 million. Arrival rounds out the top 5. Well, the Chargers were rested and ready today in Houston. Joey Bosa's backfield bash in a must-win game for the Bolts.
Mic check, mic check. Night, Melissa. Good night. The Chargers are wisely operating under the assumption they need to win their last 6 games in a row to have a good shot to make the playoffs. Coming off the bye, Mike McCoy took his team and his visor to Houston today to face the AFC South leading Texans. After a scoreless first quarter, the Chargers fell behind early in the second. Brock Osweiler to Will Fuller for 33 yards. That would set up an Osweiler 1-yard sneak for a 7-0 Houston lead. Chargers answered back from their own side of the field. Rivers to Dontrell Inman for 52 yards in a 7-7 game. The defense then came through. Joey Bosa chasing Osweiler, and Casey Hayward steps in for his NFL-leading 6th interception of the season. The Chargers converted the turnover into 7 points. This time, Rivers finds Tyrell Williams over the middle, and the Bolts head to the locker room with a 14-7 lead. More defense in the third quarter. Joey Bosa had a huge game. Drops Lamar Miller for a 5-yard loss. It was 14-10 with less than 10 minutes to go when Rivers hooked up with his rookie tight end, Hunter Henry's 5th touchdown catch of the season. Chargers lead 21-10. A field goal in the waning seconds gave the Texans a glimmer of hope, and that hope continued when Houston recovered a Nick Novak onside kick. Didn't we see this last month against the Broncos? Texans needed a Hail Mary and a 2-point conversion, but instead the Chargers intercepted Osweiler for the 3rd time. Dexter McCoyle shutting the door on a 21-13 win, and a nice little bounce back after the loss to Miami in the bye week.
We knew this was a huge game, and I liked our mentality all week, coming back from the bye in a terrible loss. It's a good win. That's a good team. That's a team that's still leading their division. It's not like they're all of a sudden bottom of the barrel.
Coming on the road against a team who was undefeated here, very well coached, very talented team. We knew it was going to be a major challenge for us, but couldn't be happier with the way all three phases played.
And we will take you back to Houston for more from the Chargers locker room in a moment. But first, let's head to the ice, where the Gulls wrapped up a grueling week with their 4th game on the road. It's also been a successful week. Gulls took a 5-game winning streak into Ontario tonight to face the rival Reign. 1-1 in the second period when Corey Trop beats Kevin Waugh for the go-ahead goal. Gulls would take a 3-2 lead into the first period and then added some insurance on a breakaway goal by Kalle Kosala. It was 4-3 in the closing seconds when Ontario's last-ditch effort to send the game to overtime was pushed aside, giving the Gulls their franchise record 6th straight win. The Gulls return home to host Tucson on Wednesday night. Well, still to come on Valley View Casino and Hotel Sports Extra, a pro treatment preview of this week's CIF football finals from Division 4 up to the Open Championship.